all season long for this moment. For this moment with the red end zones and the saloon font and the old nemesis and the Green Bay Packers, an iconic rivalry here in the NFL. We've waited for this. It's time for the legacies to be cemented. It's time for the rings to be fitted. It's time to do something that we haven't done in over 30 years, and that's win the damn Super Bowl championship. And it all starts tomorrow against the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. We can't wait to talk about it. Our final keys, predictions, your calls, 888-957-957 here on a Football Friday, brought to you by First 5 California. To learn 4 things you can do to overcome toxic stress, go to first5california.com. T-minus 35 hours, Shasky. T-minus 35 hours until kick.
So here's the new thing for the playoffs. The tailgate starts right now. The tailgate starts right now. Come join our tailgate. Let's go. Let's get ready to go. B, I'm telling you right now, I've been holding it in all week. I said to you right before the music hit, what'd I say? I think the Niners are going to blow the Packers out.
We got Frisco Shasky today, folks. We got Frisco Shasky.
I faked it all week. I tried to give respect to the opponent. I'm done. It's Friday. It's tailgate time. I am ready to come out and say it. The Niners are going to destroy the Green Bay Packers. They've been waiting for this and preparing for this since that opening drive when Brock Purdy hurt himself last year in the NFC Championship game. They know they're 60 minutes away from getting back to where they were last year with a chance to go to Vegas for an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And this team is ready.
60 minutes away from a Final Four berth. 60 minutes away from a game away from Las Vegas. And you're right. They've waited since Philadelphia for this moment. They talked the talk, and they backed it up. And they backed it up by making bold trades this season to bolster this roster, to make sure that there were no weaknesses and no holes in his defense. The offense is loaded. It's the best offense we've seen out here probably since 1994. Hell, if you want to go back to 89 and go back to 89. But this offense has been that lethal. And it's all been led by a man who's been disrespected every step of the way. And it's Brock Purdy. And a lot of people, all these people who are coming out, and I don't care about Amy Trask, I don't care about Jason McIntyre or Colin Cowherd or any of these pundits, about Brock Purdy. Out here in the Bay Area, we're happy with Brock Purdy. And what we saw for Brock Purdy this season was all he did was break the franchise record in passing yardage. If he would have played that game against the Rams, he would have had a possibility to break the touchdown record for most passing touchdowns in 49ers history. And all he's done is help lead Christian McCaffrey to one of the most prolific seasons in 49ers franchise history. All he's done is help Brandon Ayuk go back-to-back in terms of 1,000-yard receiving. All he's done is help George Kittle reclaim the top spot at tight end quietly. First team All-Pro for George Kittle. And a reminder that Deebo Samuel's here to play. So when it comes to the Green Bay Packers tomorrow, I know they beat the fraudulent Cowboys. They dropped 48 on them. Great whoop-de-doo. What they saw last week is completely different from what they're going to see tomorrow.
Did you know that my guy Oscar, who parks cars over there at the club, I saw him this morning because I always park my vehicle over in that direction, and he goes, "Hey, yo, Niners." I go, "Yeah?" He goes, "We're not the Cowboys."
We're not the Cowboys.
To your point.
We're not the Cowboys.
We're not the Cowboys. We're going to smash them.
Dude, they're going to be buttoned up. There's not going to be any pre-snap penalties. There's not going to be 3 penalties on the opening drive. Shanahan will have these guys ready as they get to the hotels tonight and they watch their final film and they go through their final preparations. The Green Bay Packers don't stand a chance tomorrow. Now, I don't care what the score is. If it's 27-13, if it's 28-21,
3-0.
if it's 35-31, I don't really give a damn. It's about surviving and advancing.
Yes.
And I expect the 49ers to survive anything that Green Bay throws their way tomorrow with Jordan Love and all those wide receivers and that defense with Jair Alexander. I don't really care about them. It's not about the Packers and me, Shasky. It's about what the 49ers do. It's about the way they run the ball. It's about the way they execute in the pass game on 3rd and short, in 3rd and medium, in 3rd and long. It got nothing to do with the Packers. It's all about what the Niners do. They dictate the pace. They dictate the tone. They set the tone tomorrow, and I expect them to do that all game long.
So I've been thinking long and hard about who I'm looking at for X factor in this game. And usually an X factor is someone who's maybe not a superstar. It's maybe someone that's flying under the radar. Sometimes it is a superstar. I'm going to amend my decision. Earlier and throughout the week, you and I have talked about Nick Bosa. I woke up this morning, and you know who I was thinking about?
Who's that?
5-star General Fred Warner. And the leader of this team. He has been the leader at the podium, the leader on the field, the heart and soul of this roster for multiple years now. I just don't see how 5-star General Fred is letting us lose this game at home.
He won't.
It's just not going to happen. So I'm looking at him, and I think the matchup between him, Dre Greenlaw, and Aaron Jones, that's going to dictate this game early and often. They're going to erase Aaron Jones from the script, and then I think everything plays off that.
Yes, you shut down the run in this football game, and I think you're going to go a long way. You do not want to go one-dimensional against this 49ers team, but I hear you with Fred Warner. I listen, when it comes to Fred Warner, Shasky, I honestly don't worry about it.
Because I know what I bring.
Because I know what he's going
week.
to do. He's going to amass 8 to 10 tackles. He's going to come on a couple linebacker blitzes and hit the quarterback. He's going to have a couple pass deflections. He's going to get into the passing lanes and get his hands on a couple footballs. I don't worry about All-Pro Fred, who was a unanimous pick for the All-Pro team. 54 and 57, I expect him to clean up Aaron Jones all game long. But I'm going back to Nick Bosa. All right? When that crowd in 2019 was chanting Bosa, 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 in his first ever playoff game against Minnesota, when Dalvin Cook, my guy, tapped out of that football game early in the first quarter, said, nope, I'm not going to do it. It's too physical out here. These boys are hitting. To me, again, and I'm not going to get off of this, number 97 needs to come around that edge. Number 97 needs to hit Jordan Love early and often. Al Davis said it. The quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard in the first 5 plays of the football game. That needs to happen with number 97, Nick Bosa. We didn't hear Micah Parsons all week. All week. I expect Greg Olsen and Kevin Burkhardt to talk about that Green Bay offensive line all night long saying, boy, they're just not holding up today. Boy, they're just not holding up. 97 has to dominate tomorrow, Shasky. I'm not getting off of that. 97 has to come in early and often and have those woo plays and set that edge. Nick Bosa, I'm looking at you. It's time to roll.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think having Eric Armstead in the middle of that defense alongside Javon Hargrave, I think it's going to be a big boost to the opportunities for Nick Bosa. It's undeniable that they need a monster game from him. I mean, everyone would say that, and he needs to step up. But I just think having Eric Armstead in there commanding doubles, it just opens things up on the edges. They can run some more of their traditional stunts. I expect to see some more exotic stuff from Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks, underrated. He had a nice little season in terms of adjusting, given some of the guys that were in and out and the lack of production opposite Nick Bosa. I thought he did a really good job this year, and I expect him to have a big game, big game in this one. And if you dig deep a little on the Green Bay Packers, they're not high on their DC.
No, Joe Barry.
They're not high on their DC. I know they had a great game this last game, but don't let it be not known to you that they were going to fire him at one point.
Yeah, Joe Barry's been under fire, and we'll talk to Bill Schmidt, your buddy Bill Schmidt. We've talked to him before here. Great guy. 9 to noon show, as well as Packers postgame on 97.3 The Game. Bill Schmidt, at Bill Schmidt Radio. He's going to join us at 6:30 here on the Morning Rush on the Boxer and Gerson guest line. We also got Eric Crocker at 8:30.
Oh, nice.
We have Jessica Birch at 9 o'clock to get a weather report. And then we got Terrell Owens at 9:20. T.O. to set the tone to talk about his memories against the Green Bay Packers. Look, Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom. They don't ring a bell. They're not household names. But the reason why I say those names, Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom, those are the 2 tackles for the Green Bay Packers. Rasheed Walker, left tackle. Zach Tom, right tackle. With Chase Young off a bye week. And Chase Young has never played a playoff game.
That's kind of crazy, but not to be expected when you play in Washington. I believe they have one of the longest playoff win droughts.
Yes. They haven't been to an NFC title game since 1991.
It's crazy. And when we were kids, they were very good.
They were very good. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Chase Young has been in hell, football hell, for the first 3-4 years of his career. Well, now you get an opportunity to play in front of this red out at Levi Stadium tomorrow, because I expect everybody to wear red with the red end zone and the red letterings. All right? So number 92, Chase Young. Number 97, Nick Bosa. Number 5, Randy Gregory. Zach Tom and Rasheed Walker. I expect them to have a long day. A long day. I expect Luke Musgrave to stay in a chip and block.
I actually like him as a player.
I do like him.
I'm not
but I don't expect him to run a lot of routes tomorrow, because I expect Nick Bosa, Randy Gregory, Chase Young to get after this quarterback all day long.
Does the backup running back, it's not the number 28, but now they got this Wilson kid, 31. Does he scare you at all? I know he was running harder toward the end of the year.
They have playmakers.
They do
have playmakers, but every time Aaron Jones is off the field, it's a win for the 49ers.
Yeah.
I don't think they respect any of these other live running backs. And these other running backs, let's face it, the Dallas Cowboys linebackers were soft.
I'm not going to argue.
When you get hit by 54 Fred Warner and you get hit by number 57 Dre Greenlaw, you run through the holes a little bit differently. All of a sudden, you're not 1 foot and go, 1 cut and go. You're not just running with authority. After you get hit by them, you think about it. Where are these guys at? Should I run through the A gap or should I run through the B gap? Or should I try to cut everything outside? Because you're not going to outrun these guys when they're scraping the sideline to sideline. And then if they do get your hands on you, they're going to be mean about it. They're going to pile drive you. They're going to make sure you hit that turf really, really hard. So when you get hit by these linebackers, it's just different. And then all of a sudden in the third quarter, when you're running against these linebackers, Shasky, you're saying, boy, man, my shoulder hurts. Wow, I need to play off. Boy, I need somebody to massage my shoulder. All of a sudden, I need an ice pack. Maybe I need the blue tent. It's just different when you get hit by these guys.
B, I'm just so fired up for this game. We've been waiting so long. I feel like I've been waiting for this game since literally last year, Philadelphia first quarter. Doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, it really feels like not just me and the fan base, but it feels like the team and the organization as well. Look, I think it's fair to say now, they knocked our quarterback out. No one is arguing about it. But there's a part of that you feel like, there was this unfinished business. Slightly, it's unfair. Like, you feel that way because, like, the football gods couldn't grant us health to play the game and either win or lose on your own accord, right? Yep. Losing with your backup quarterback, it's brutal. Christian McCaffrey's taking snaps as quarterback, for crying out loud. Brock had to go back in, and he couldn't throw the ball, all right? Like, that's what happened at the end of last year. This team has such a sour taste in its mouth that I know they're going to be ready to go. The only thing that I worry about is the early jitters where you're so amped up early on and you just maybe over pursue on a misdirection. You're a little high on a slant, like little things like that. But I think this team's going to be buttoned up and ready to go.
Yeah, I think they're salivating at the opportunity to prove themselves again in the playoffs. I think they've been waiting for this. Like, you think about where they were at the bye week. Again, another bye week adjustment by Kyle Shanahan and this organization. They came out of the bye week, and they instantly hit Jacksonville in the mouth to shut up everybody to say, hey, we're still that same team.
Yeah.
And then when they went to Philadelphia, and they all black, and you saw Eric Armstead, and you saw Fred Warner, you saw Trent Williams, and you saw Deebo Samuel, you saw these guys in the all black. The send a message saying the NFC is running through us this season. To beat the man, you got to be the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man, and that's what they did December 3rd. And they haven't looked back, Shasky.
You know, it's interesting because I'm looking at the Niners, and I'm like, all right, who's flying under the radar? All of them. All the weapons. What has the talk been this week? It's been really about Brock Purdy.
Right.
Hasn't really been about Deebo. Hasn't really been about Ayuk. Hasn't really been about George Kittle. Right? Like, Christian McCaffrey? I think the entire country is sleeping on the weapons.
Yeah. Well, I expect the Niners to run the ball down their throats. I don't expect the Green Bay Packers to be able to stop the run with Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, he received some much-needed rest with the calf strain, all the touches he had, in the monumental season for him. 21 touchdowns, the all-purpose yards, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, the leading rusher in the NFL. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a huge game. A huge game. And it's not going to come down to Brock Purdy. I don't expect Brock Purdy to throw the ball more than 20 to 25 times in this football game.
Yeah.
Because I expect the Niners to be able to ram the ball down their throats over and over and over again. And I expect them to get well over 30 touches in the run game. Well over 30 carries, Shasky. So to me, it's not even going to come down to Brock Purdy. By the time we come around Monday, we're going to say, boy, Brock Purdy, all he had to do was hand the ball off because the run game was working so well.
Oh, I would love to have a game where they hand it off, and he only has to drop back 8 times. I mean, that would be incredible.
How ironic would that be?
It would be ironic. I'm not going to lie. That would be ironic. I mean, it's just, I feel like the rhetoric around Brock Purdy has gotten completely out of control. And I'm not here for it. I don't care. I want this game to happen. We've been waiting so long. And I think when you bake in that they've been waiting for 3 weeks on top of the full year and everything, and it's really been about playoffs for this organization. And Kyle Shanahan, it's been about the playoffs. I have a hard time thinking that we're going to get our lunch pail handed to us by LaFleur and Jordan Love and this in particular Green Bay Packer team. Maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now when they're a little more seasoned. But right now, we're in our prime.
And when I think about this game, and I think about Fred Warner, and I think about Nick Bosa, I think about George Kittle and Deebo and Trent, And they're in that hotel lobby before the game later today. And Shanahan is just dressing the team. And all these guys are going to go to their hotel room and try to get a good night's sleep. And all these guys know legacies are made during this time of the season.
100%.
And when Frank Gore is walking around that field and Patrick Willis is walking around that field, we all give them daps. We all give them standing ovations. But we always say, damn, it would have been good to get them a Super Bowl ring, to stat one, because maybe they're already in the Hall of Fame. What a ring does for these guys, it changes lives. It changes legacies. You go from wearing just a red jacket to going to the 49ers Football Hall of Fame to the gold jacket in Canton, Ohio, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. All of a sudden, your name is plastered out on all the Ring of Honors. All of a sudden, when we're watching NFL films 20 years from now, your highlights are being played over and over again. All of a sudden, America's team is being broadcasted 30 years from now when people say, boy, those 2023 49ers were special. That all happens by winning games in the month of January and in February. So legacies are on the line. And I think these guys know that. How will we remember them? How will we remember Fred Warner and Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel and Brendan Ayuk? I want to remember them as Super Bowl champions one day.
I totally agree. You know, last year, heading into the playoffs, he had a down year by his own accord. Because his 2021 playoff was legendary. Deebo Samuel, I'm talking about. And going into that Seattle game, I just felt like he was flying under the radar, and I thought he could pop against Seattle. He did. He had a monster playoff game. And I don't think it translated to the Dallas game. The Dallas game was just a tightly contested game.
Physical game, nasty.
They struggled to move the ball. I got this feeling that I think Deebo's going to do something big on Saturday. He's been really good the last month and a half, and now that he's healthy, he's got some spry. He's a guy, when he's got time off and his body's able to heal, he always comes out and packs a punch. I expect him to be a big part of the offense on Saturday.